Good morning. I'm standing in front of the Stafford Hotel, where I'm about to conduct an interview with Monsieur Patrice Noyelle of Pol Roger Champagne. We hope this will be the first of many interviews where we meet the people that make, lead and own some of the greatest wine houses in the world.
The Pol Roger brand was in fact established in England. And I think that from the beginning, the Pol Roger company produced wines to satisfy the British market. And the British market like old wines, and we do love old wines.
Just touching on the Cuvée Sir Winston Churchill, the first vintage was 1975.
Yes.
There have been now 12 vintages to 1999. Pre-98, because we're going to come on to 98 and 99, what were the star vintages in your view, the wines that really stand out? And for a market that likes and is appreciating the qualities and the magic of old champagne, which ones do you think are worth a mention?
I think the 1982 was absolutely stunning. I tasted it once only. The 75, I was never given the chance to taste it, so I can't talk about it. But the 82 was stunning. And then I would say the 88 was extraordinary. The 1990 is fantastic. And then I would say the 96. These are the very, very best vintages of Churchill which we produced so far. And I'm mentioning 88 because I know there are still some 88s, around. I mean, you off and on you find some 88s. So if you were to find an 88 bottle of Cuvée Winston Churchill, just don't ask you any questions, just go and pick it up.
What is it in its makeup that makes it so special?
The Cuvée Winston Churchill, the first vintage was 1975, was created in fact to be a tribute to Sir Winston Churchill. We wanted to produce at the time the style of vintage wine which he was drinking. So we did it the way we were doing it before. So an assemblage of predominantly Pinot Noir, a little bit of Chardonnay, and then the long aging period in our very deep cellar, 9 degrees Celsius. It's very low temperature, 9 degrees Celsius, meaning that the fermentation, the effervescence, the building up of the effervescence goes a lot slower, and going a lot slower, the bubbles are a lot finer. So this is some of the secrets of this Cuvée Winston Churchill. And then the wines which we select to produce it are the best you can find in Champagne. They are the wines coming from the 10,000 existing hectares of Champagne when Churchill was drinking Pol Roger in between 1900 to 1960. Because Champagne in between grew a lot from 10,000 to 32,000 hectares. So all these little things, the cool cellar, the assemblage, the special assemblage, the fact that the wines are coming from the heart of Champagne, really the very best Grand Cru vineyards, makes it that this is such a special wine. This is a wine that you buy by the bottle, or, I forgot to tell you, by the magnum eventually. A champagne wine, any champagne wine, but Cuvée Winston Churchill on top of that, is so much better in magnum bottle. People forget that when you open a bottle of champagne with friends, you usually do not open one bottle, you open two. Never forget to open a magnum rather than two bottles. And for Cuvée Winston Churchill, the magnum bottle is so much better. The wine ages so much nicer.
These are your current vintages, vintage 98s and 99. In your words, they're obviously different wines, but what makes them special cuvées that are a substantial cut above the rest?
In Champagne, you have to understand that to produce something, as you said, cut above the rest, it's an addition of a lot of little details. First of all, the crop 98 and the crop 99 were absolutely beautiful crop. And then there is something which so far I have not had a chance to mention, the Cuvée Winston Churchill, the Cuvée, the assemblage. This is not done by only our chef de cave. Of course, our chef de cave is there, but the Cuvée, this is a family day. This is a family thing. We usually do the Cuvée mid-January, and the whole family, whether it is the family working in the business or the family who is retired and who is shareholder, but no longer, we meet all together. So we have usually now 3 generations of Pol Roger meeting together to decide the way we will blend, assemble the wine together. This is very important. It's amazing. I mean, it's like the grandfather looking at the way his grandson is working, making sure that the grandson is not doing any mistake. And it gives to this assemblage, you know, the assemblage of persons, younger generation, older generation, the younger following maybe the trend, and the older generation sort of making sure that the younger doesn't follow too quickly. This is all about building a cuvée, building a wine, and building its fame. Because the wine is extremely famous. I mean, any wine collector in the world knows about Cuvée Winston Churchill, has had a chance to taste Cuvée Winston Churchill, has Cuvée Winston Churchill in his cellar. This is all this sort of dream behind the production, the assemblage, which people are also looking for. This day where we met together, it's a lovely day. I mean, it's a dream. This is the ultimate dream of someone like me who's been in the wine trade for 37 years. You give birth to a baby, and I think that when you reach the age I have now, I mean, the ultimate pleasure in life is to produce something nice. And this day is one of these days which I never forget.
The extraordinary achievement of Sir Winston Churchill Special Cuvée is that you've been able to cast back to the great man himself and find parts of his character and then relate them to the wine. Tell us more.
Now, to describe a wine such as Cuvée Winston Churchill is not easy because I think it's extremely personal. But first of all, Churchill was a powerful man. He knew what he wanted. So Cuvée Winston Churchill is a strong, powerful wine. It's predominantly Pinot Noir, so the Pinot Noir is a full-bodied wine. And then Churchill knew how to speak. I mean, he was extremely brilliant when he was talking. So the way a wine talks is through his nose. So we have also an extremely beautiful aromatic wine. Alors, the aroma will change whether you're drinking when it is young, 10 years old, or a lot older, 20, 25 years old, because in a champagne assemblage, the 2 grapes we are using, the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir, are expressing themselves at different times. When the wine is relatively young, the Chardonnay is talking. And then when the wine gets older, when the wine gets some bottle age, then the Pinot Noir. And the Pinot Noir, like for the red Burgundy, fruits, red fruits, black currant, cassis, strawberries, and then when the wine gets older, leaves, sous-bois, underwood. I don't have the words. When it gets even older, tobacco. Churchill used to love cigars, so you have notes of tobacco at one point. It's a dream wine, and it evolves. It's never the same thing. It's like a wine is like a human being. The wine is not the same thing when it is young and when it is old.
We know that there's a guarded secret in how it's made, aspects of how it's made, but I wonder if you could just give us some nuggets, some gems that make Sir Winston Churchill so special.
Alors, Sir Winston Churchill was the most famous customer of Pol Roger. And Sir Winston Churchill became very close to Pol Roger because he knew very well Duff Cooper. Duff Cooper was a very close friend of Winston Churchill.
He was the ambassador.
He was the ambassador.
Yes,
he moved to Paris just after the liberation of Paris in 1944. And Duff Cooper knew very well Odette Pol Roger, who was the wife of Jacques Pol Roger. Jacques Pol Roger being the 3rd generation. And Odette Pol Roger, people forget sometimes, but was a great-granddaughter of Sir Richard Wallace, of the Wallace collection. And
a great beauty as well in her time.
She was
one of the most.
Well, if she looked like Grace Kelly. She was absolutely beautiful. And when Churchill met Odette Pol Roger in 1945 at the English embassy in Paris on the invitation of Duff Cooper, Churchill fell apart. Because he said, not only these Pol Roger are producing my champagne, the champagne I prefer, but on top of that, they managed to marry beautiful girls. So this is how the friendship in between Churchill, the consumer of Pol Roger, and the family started. Well, I hope I was able to show you that I'm passionate for what I do. I'm as passionate, and Pol Roger is as passionate as Winston Churchill was for his life. And there is one last thing which I would like you to never forget, is a day without champagne is a wasted day.